Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, and hopefully you had a great weekend. We're going to try and help you sort out this week's weather. The big picture: a hot dome just to our south and west, and a jet stream riding on top of that just to our north and east. And we're going to kind of be in the fight zone. And so you saw my headline: heat wave canceled. Well, first off, there is no official definition of a heat wave. Okay. We generally just say that if it's 3 or 4 or 5 days of in the 90s, well into the 90s here in Michigan, we would generally call it a heat wave. Okay. But it looks like we'll have a couple of very hot days, 95 plus, but we may have some breaks in it too. So, all right, let's get to her here. And first, let's start off with the radar. Some areas of Michigan have had some thunder showers this morning, and those continue to move toward the southeast to the areas that really need the rainfall. Well, of course, everybody's getting kind of dry again. Hey, let me say hi to some folks. Kathleen Weber, good morning, Grand Rapids. And Gracie Vierzy, good morning, Jackson Grass Lake. And Nanette Redmond from Grand Ledge, good morning to you. Jerry Van Horn from the middle of the mitten. That must be Mount Pleasant or Clare or something like that. All right, so let's track and see what these showers and thunderstorms will do. Now, bear in mind, this is a little what I would it's I guess what you'd call a cold front, or we can also call it a wind shift. I learned very early in my career to say the phrase wind shift slowly because sometimes it doesn't come out quite right. Um, that's a story for another day. So, as this wind shift moves toward the southeast, that's where the zone of scattered thunderstorms would be possible. So, high resolution rapid refresh model showing that. Let's see, let's go to 11 and noon. So, the band of showers and thunder showers scattered at best. We'll be heading toward Bay City, Saginaw, Midland, Mount Pleasant, Big Rapids, down through the Lansing area, down through Jackson, middle of the day. That's not a good time to have thunderstorms hold together. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock into the thumb, into the southeast, into Ann Arbor. Again, look at the size of those. Hit and miss. Most miss, and if you get hit, it could be a 15-minute downpour. You could get a half inch if you're under the core of a thunderstorm for 15 minutes, but not very. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Becky. I apologize. Let me go back. Is it Monday? It is Monday. All right, let's go back here. Let's go back to noon. Let's go back to noon here so you can see the spotty thunder showers, center part of the state. And then as we go into 2 and 3 in the afternoon, they shift to the thumb, Flint area, Detroit, Ann Arbor. Larry Pusker taking 5 grandsons to Charlevoix for no parents' weekend. Uh-oh, in need of good weather. You will have it. You will have it, I think. And you know, God bless you on the 5 grandsons. We just had 2 granddaughters, and it wasn't bad, but it was it was a test. So I told my wife, all 5 grandkids at once? No, not for quite some time. Um, let's see. So we're into this evening and should be uh, fairly dry. Okay, so now why am I saying heat wave canceled? Still a question mark, so you still should hear that indecision in my voice. The European model, that's the best model, and the US model, the GFS, both bring a cold front through, a significant cold front through Wednesday night, Thursday. That's a good chance of a meaningful, helpful rainfall, a real solid chance. I'll show that to you. Then the European drops that front, gets us a little bit of a northeast wind, cools us down a touch. I'm not talking chilly comfortable. I'm talking instead of 95 to 100, it might be 85 to 91, 92. So still pretty hot. Shelly, she said all 7 grandkids at once. Oh, no, 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 no. So let's go to it with the European. Then we'll look at the temperatures. Okay, so here's our front coming through today, and we're pretty comfortable the next day or so. Wednesday still looks like a barn burner. We get into a southwesterly flow. Looks like many spots will be mid to upper 90s from Saginaw to Grand Rapids southward. Then the cold front comes through. Perfect timing for meaningful, helpful rainfall. Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, Thursday, Wednesday overnight, Thursday morning. Front pokes around as it normally does at this time of the year, gets bogged down in southern Michigan because the heat is so intense to the south, and waves of storms can ride along. It could be more helpful rainfall in the southeast, let's say, call it third of the state on Thursday, and then trying to exit Friday. And there's the weekend, and then another cold front comes down from the European and just keeps us at not chilly or cool, but doesn't keep us at extremely hot. So here is the European high temperature forecast, the European model. I often get this question: why is the European model so much better than the US model? It's better in a few situations: 3, 4, 5, 6 days out timing, especially snowstorms, which we don't want to talk about those yet. The European is good at 3 to 7 days out. The US model is good at that, but its timing is not as good as the European model. And bear in mind, none of these models yet handle the long range in a clump of thunderstorm type of weather pattern, because I always go back to the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Mary, I wish I was never born, or whatever he says. These models are forecasting what we call a synoptic scale weather pattern, a large scale. They're tracking these large low pressure systems, but in summer a clump of thunderstorms develops and it changes the whole environment. So the European right now is forecasting this weekend and next week off of thunderstorm complexes today and Wednesday, Thursday. And those should be accurate, but if those thunderstorm complexes are different, the overall forecast could end up being different. And where it comes in really is in temperatures. So we'll be in the low 80s today. We'll be in the 80s tomorrow. Like I said, Wednesday is the hot day. We thought that maybe we could have 2 or 3 days in a row, but you're looking at 93 in Grand Rapids to 96 ish. Saginaw Bay City, middle in the thumb. Also Ann Arbor, Detroit. So Wednesday is a hot and humid day. Thursday has the clouds, showers, and thunderstorms around, so you don't get real warm on the actual thermometer, but steamy. Hey, thank you, Mark Ashworth, for sharing. Mark Ashworth wins the prize of the most sharing, and if everybody could do that with me, I would greatly appreciate it. Friday, um, in the 70s to 80s. Then Saturday, back to the mid to upper 80s. Sunday, a lot of places in the upper 80s to near 90. Monday, about 90 degrees. So you could see it's warm, but it's not what I would call a quote unquote heat wave. This is Tuesday, and that's Wednesday, and it tries to break it. And that's one thing that the European is picking up on and is good at doing. It picks up on these smaller scale disturbances because I guess I didn't answer the question. Why is the European? What's the root reason why the European model is better than the US model? The initialization. They put more into the very starting frame of the model. They put more observations. They put more, satellite observations, more pilot airline observations. They just put more into that initialization. Now, remember, the U.S., the National Weather Service, and NOAA, we have computer models that blow away the European on short term. They don't have a high resolution rapid refresh that shows us when a clump of severe thunderstorms will develop and when a tornadic supercell could develop and where it could be. 3 or 4 European can't even think about doing that. We don't even look at it for that. We have the NAM, the North American model, that at 24 hours out is way better than the European on a lot of stuff. So we have good models too. And fortunately, we have the choice to use all those. Now, we just saw the European high temperature forecast. Let's look at the US high temperature forecast. Let's look at Wednesday, and it's hot also. That's why I say Wednesday will be warm. Hey, good morning, Brian Johnson. Hopefully, you're doing well in Bay City. And Thursday, it cools it down also with the rain around. Friday, it brings us back into the 80s. Saturday, it's a little bit warmer than the European, which is interesting because it's usually a little too cool, although they may have tweaked it because remember, they're always trying to fine tune the biases of the model. So it's going about 90 to 92 in a lot of places Saturday. And then here's Sunday, upper 80s to low 90. Oh, I'm sorry. Sunday, it brings us back into the mid 90s. So it's trying to have more of a sustained heat wave of a couple of days. But then we get into early next week and it breaks it too for several days. So it certainly stands to reason that we're not going to get into some extended 100 to 105 degree pattern for 5 days like they are just back to our southwest and have been. Shelly Doomler, Traverse City weather this weekend looks pretty nice. Looks like it'll be in the 80s to near 90 degrees. And by the way, anybody planning a trip to Michigan, to northern Michigan, I always say last week of July, first week of August, the best weekends of weather. Sure, you could have a thunderstorm complex, you could have a severe weather outbreak last a couple of hours, but if you want 80s, if you want maybe a touch less humidity, if you want a lot of sunshine, if you want to get out on the water and have the wind be a little bit lighter, late July, early August, because the water to air temperature difference is lowered and it doesn't stimulate as much eddies that burst the wind down to the water and pick up the waves. So there you go. Janice Ray, here's some questions. Driving from Detroit to Saginaw today, when's the best time for me to travel weather-wise? I don't think you'll have a problem, but let's go back to that for Janice Ray Williams. Let's go back to the, first off, let's give you the updated radar. Okay. Oh, let me go back to the map, not me. And now I lost the map too. All right, here we go. All right. So there's your radar. Let's get you the updated radar forecast too. Remember the high resolution rapid refresh. So, you're looking at when's the best time to go from Detroit to Saginaw? Probably now, because you're looking at 2 in the afternoon and 3. You're going to have scattered downpour thunderstorms along I-75 from Detroit to Saginaw. Nothing that would last very long, but certainly could, get your windshield wipers going and get you slowed down for 5 or 10 minutes to 45 or 50 miles an hour. And then if you wait till later on, it will calm down. So there you have it. There's the updated forecast. It's Monday. I'm not doing very well at all. This one's for free. Oh, wait a minute. It's always for free. There you go. We'll keep you updated through the week, and we'll hope for a helpful, useful rain Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. With that kind of situation, 97, fairly strong cold front, we always have to think about severe thunderstorms, so I'll start to shift gears on that too. And take care. Have yourselves a great, safe week. I'll be back here, again tomorrow. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update.